45 minutes. For the last 2 years, I've not been able to stand that long. 2.5 weeks into wearing the X39 patch, the pastor said, "You can now be seated." It dawned on me at that moment that, my goodness, I've been standing this whole time, didn't realize it.
After starting using the technology for approximately 2 weeks, my pain completely disappeared.
32 years of pain gone in 3 days.
I just love the products. They just help me to feel younger and younger year after year.
Thank God for X39.
My skin become younger, softer, firmer.
It's been really amazing.
I love X39 because it really helped reduce the inflammation in my knee. I can now run again. Woohoo!
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Tuesday evening introduction to LifeWave, the star of our show X39, and a little bit about our company. So tonight, I'm your co-host, by the way, Robin Blank Mascari, along with Gregory, my partner. And what we're going to do is share a short presentation by Gregory about the company, the products, the technology, our founder, and then we invite our special practitioner this evening to join us, Dr. Henriette Alban, and we'll have a few minutes with her, and then it's your turn. So we'd love to hear your stories. If you have questions, please put them in the Q&A, and if you're brand new, you might want to have a notepad because there's some very interesting information. So now I get to turn things over to Gregory. Over to you, honey.
All right. Thanks, Robin. Good evening, everyone. And we always love this Tuesday night call because we always hear something new and there's so much to know and learn about LifeWave and X39. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and do just a little brief PowerPoint presentation with you all. And we're going to be talking about activating your own stem cells. This is very exciting news, breakthrough technology. But before we do that, I just want to share my own personal realization I came to a number of years ago. I finally figured out what I want to be when I get older, and that's younger. And I bet you many of you can relate to that. And with that being said, before we start, let me ask you a personal question. If anything were possible, what is one thing that you would choose to experience differently or better in your health or in the health of someone you love and care for? Think about that. What's one thing you would choose, or one thing you would like to see change in someone you love and care for? And what difference would that make for you or them? So ponder that question as we're going through tonight's presentation. And before we get started, just want to make a general disclaimer. Our products are not designed to treat, heal, cure, diagnose any disease. They do, however, help to bring our body back into a more holistic, healthy state, and wonderful things then can begin to start happening. So welcome to the stem cell revolution, because we believe everyone wants to look, feel, perform, and live younger. And we know that stem cells are the key because they're a vital part of our immune system that helps to regenerate and repair damaged cells in all of our body, in our organs, and our glands, and our bones, and our muscles, and our eyes, and our, our skin, everywhere. The problem is, the older we get, the less stem cells we have. Sadly, at my age 60, only a small percentage remain. And the fewer stem cells we have, the faster we age and the slower we heal. So the problem is stem cells decline as we age. And you could see, here's a chart, from when you're a baby, you're just about all stem cells, and as we age, the amount of stem cells in our body decreases to the point when we're 60 and above, there's hardly any left. So what about stem cell injections? And I know they become quite popular, but they're pretty expensive. They can be painful, risky, controversial, with no guaranteed results. You could spend tens of thousands of dollars and maybe or maybe not get the results you're after. Well, we've got good news for you here tonight, because you can look, feel, perform, and live younger with a historic breakthrough in stem cell activation technology. It's a new wearable technology in patch form. It's affordable, it's safe, it's non-invasive, it's drug-free, And it's a patented form of phototherapy that uses specific frequencies of light to enhance and improve stem cell activity. Now, this is the brainchild of our visionary founder and CEO, David Schmidt, who David is not only a brilliant scientist and researcher, he's also a genius inventor with over 130 patents and patent pendings. And he's been on the leading edge of phototherapy research and science for over 20 years. Now, David's already conducted over 80 clinical studies proving the efficacy of our LifeWave phototherapy products, and many more studies are always in the works. And that's because LifeWave is a very advanced technology company focused in health sciences. It was started back in 2004 based on an energy-enhancing technology David developed under contract with the U.S. government for Navy SEALs to help increase their strength, stamina, and performance without drugs, stimulants, or caffeine. It turned out to be so effective, it's now used by professional athletes around the world. We have corporate headquarters, laboratory and manufacturing in California, Utah, and Ireland. And we already have global distribution over 75 countries with 15 global distribution centers. Now, the word is getting out. Pro and amateur athletes around the world in almost every sport are using our technology, our LifeWave products. Serena Williams, well-known, soccer star David Beckham, Michael Phelps and his entire team using it. So if you look carefully at some of your favorite athletes, you might see these auspicious little white patches on their body, and that's LifeWave. So how does this amazing technology work? Well, it's based on a type of light therapy called photobiomodulation. And LifeWave patches contain very specific combinations of organic materials and nanocrystals. And when they're applied or near our body, they're activated by our body heat. Then they begin to re-emit very specific wavelengths of light, which stimulates targeted and beneficial responses in our body. This is called photobiomodulation, and it's the basis for our LifeWave phototherapy patches and technology. Now, it's been a well-recognized and proven scientific principle that specific frequencies of light can cause specific changes within our body. And for example, when we go out in the sun, a specific frequency of light from the sun gives us a signal for our body to manufacture vitamin D. We're not getting a vitamin D download from the sun. We're getting a light frequency download, and our body then says, oh, manufacture vitamin C. And likewise, another frequency of light, ultraviolet, tells our body to make melanin, the chemical that gives us a suntan. Well, LifeWave's patented technology is based on the same rock-solid, widely recognized scientific principle. Now, our focus for the last 14 years has been in the field of anti-aging and regenerative science. And 4 years ago, we released to the global market the LifeWave X39 stem cell activation patch, and it was a game changer. Truly a historic and affordable breakthrough in stem cell activation, some calling it the holy grail of anti-aging and restorative science. And we're actually doing what the multi-billion-dollar companies in big pharma have not been able to do. And X39 actually activates a very specific copper peptide that activates and tells our body to activate stem cells, while also altering gene expression towards a younger and more vibrant you. So X39 certainly is a true breakthrough. David, our founder and inventor CEO, says, my greatest accomplishment yet, with an emphasis on yet, because he spends more time in the laboratory than in any office. And yes, we have patents. Yes, we have clinical studies and field results proving that X39 is actually turning back our biological clock, helping people to look, feel, perform, and live younger. And for us baby boomers, this is very exciting news. So that's my little short introduction, Robin. So I'm going to stop my share and pass this back over to you and our dear doctor friend.
Wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Gregory. I love that you're changing it up just a little bit. That's great. I guess I should put my camera on now. Okay. Can you see me? Okay, I'm here. Wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So now it's my pleasure to introduce our special guest this evening, and some of you are getting to know her and love her. She offers a whole nother dimension that we just so appreciate. Dr. Henriette Alban comes to us as a naturopath of over 25 years. She's been in private practice, and she brings a wealth of resources, information. And I love that her intention is to help people access more of their inner light and introduce them to how truly holistic human bodies operate and how to manage their life for the best possible outcome. And she has many tools in her tool chest, which I love, and I love learning from her. And I love that she really addresses the emotional body also, which is such an important vehicle for our healing. And it's my pleasure to welcome you, Dr. Henriette. Oh, want to unmute your line, please?
I was so prepared and then I forget that, right? I said, good evening. Hi, Robin. And thank you, everyone. It's lovely to be here.
We love having you here. This is so great. And I know you and Dr. Tom were at a holistic expo over the weekend. I bet you got some good stories there, huh?
We got lots of good stories, a lot of pain relief, a lot of shifting of, oh, wow, this is possible. And then the next day I had a client in my office and she just went nuts. I had once last year patched her Achilles tendon. She's a runner and an athlete. She's super fit. And I patched her Achilles tendon, which was when she was limping, and the pain went away. And she couldn't believe it. Took her a year to come back again and say, well, no, what, didn't you? So I patched her shoulder and her neck and the pain went away. And she says, wow, this is weird. we got that at the show too, you know. Yes, because people have never really included the energy of these not just the patches, but the entire technology. And I keep telling people the body is energy and information, and the patches are energy and information. And why would that not be together?
I know. And once you get it, it's like, oh my gosh, we can't not share it, can we?
Exactly.
So let me ask you that before we jump into the topic at hand. As a doctor, I know you get approached by a lot of different products and resources. Why is it that you chose to really pay attention to the technology of LifeWave, Dr. Henriette?
I tried hard not to. So I said, I need another product. You know, you're right. I mean, around every corner, you know, whatever. Why don't you and wouldn't you? And wouldn't it be great if you, so from LinkedIn to Facebook to personal emails and of course, other people I know, I have never wanted to do anything in my office that would somehow give the impression that there might be a conflict of interest, that I'm suggesting people take certain supplements that are here, that I sell. Right. I don't have any such qualms with LifeWave. Now, for the last 2 years, I have used the patches very successfully on a great deal of complications and issues. And it's been remarkable. But what really got me in, even before that, was the science. The science is not only solid, it really aligns with my personal approach. So many people take supplements, and it has to go through the digestive tract, right? So in that sense, what if it doesn't get absorbed? What if we cannot utilize it, right? What if it doesn't get metabolized and it doesn't go where it's supposed to go? The patches, a no-brainer. I think so.
And compliance is pretty nice with it. Peel and stick, you know?
There you go.
Better than pills. Okay, let's jump in and talk about the star of the show, X39. As Gregory gave us some wonderful information about it, would you share, Dr. Henriette, who is this patch for and who isn't it for?
I would use this patch for the general application of anyone who, so that's my opinion, right? Anyone who's not actively undergoing very specific disease treatments. Some of us have said you can still do it. I don't have personal experience with that. So I don't think it is for the people who are really, their immune system is suppressed. Okay, however, I have also recently heard that there are people in cases where that has actually sped up the healing. Again, that's just, so who it is for, everybody. I mean, it's for everybody. If we're looking at the testimonials, they're so cool. You know, the little boy with the fingertip, right? X39 got slapped on. That was it. The boy is back in 6 weeks. You can't find anything. It's completely gone. And I think that I would love to actually try it sometime. I have not yet on someone with migraines. Children can use it for specific healing and post-surgical recovery. Adults use it. When we consider that our stem cell supply is at a minimum, which ties in with the studies that they did a few years ago, where they actually realized that all cells are stem cells when suggested to be stem cells, right? Because there used to be a time when we thought liver cells, stomach cells, heart cells. That's not so. The body is regenerative because of that. I don't know who came up with that limitation, you know? So stem cells everybody needs them, and especially those of us over 50.
Especially.
Yes.
That's for sure. It's been
Yes.
life-changing for me, for sure.
Me too.
So, you know, a lot of people want to know, because it looks pretty innocuous. We know the miracle stories. Everyone, you know, we live in this fast-paced society. People want to know, how long is it going to take for me to notice something?
How connected are you to your system?
Ah, good question.
There is always, you know, it doesn't really matter what sort of response we're looking for or waiting for. It really has to do how we are aligned within ourselves. And that takes a lot of practice. And so many people don't have it, which makes the effects all the more remarkable, of course, because when they notice a difference, they go like, wow, that was amazing, or that is amazing. Many people have felt energy, you know, so somebody else described it recently, and I have a good friend who's done that. So energy down their back, if it was on below C7. Yeah, responses like that. How long does it take? It could be instant, and it could take 6 months. That really depends, because what I've been telling people all weekend is that your body has the capacity to heal itself. This is energy and information towards that factor. Once the patches are on, yes, they have specific messages, specific light frequencies, but once they're on, the body goes and puts it where it needs it, right?
Beautiful, beautiful.
So the results depend, and be patient. It's so worth it. It's so worth it.
Yeah, that's so beautiful, because like you said, Dr. Henrietta, some people notice something right away, but I tend to be conservative on expectations and give it time. I heard one of our leaders say, give it a month for every decade you're alive.
Yes, I heard that, and I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, because it didn't happen overnight. It's not going to change overnight, you know? Although
what-
notice something. Mhm.
Yeah, what's interesting with this also is when the body starts healing, our emotions start easing, right? So that connection between our cells and our emotional experiences, that too dissolves gently, slowly. It's like water sickering into sand. And then it's just smooth. Oh, it's so nice.
That's
Who doesn't want to be in a better mood?
I like that metaphor. That's wonderful. So, what are the conditions for someone to really get the maximum benefit of utilizing this technology?
Regularity. Stick with it.
Good old consistency, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I hear this often from people. Oh, I put them on when I remember. And I'm going, put it next to your toothbrush, put it next to your underwear, provided you change it every day. Put it where you need it.
Where you wear it, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, that's another conversation. So, yeah, I think that consistency is queen. There are some patches we have where we say you don't really need to put them on every day, depending on what you're looking for. But the X39 every day.
Okay. And how long do you wear it?
12 hours.
Okay.
12 hours on, 12 hours off, because there is the body wants to catch up, right? I mean, it has to go someplace. Even energy, when released, has to go someplace. So for the system to work it out, for the skin to breathe it out, for our lungs to breathe it out, for the skin to sweat it out if you're someone who has a sauna, and then for the regular eliminatory system, it all takes a while. Drink, drink, drink. Hydrate. Water. Seriously. That'll help flush everything out.
And why is hydration so important for the effectiveness of the patches?
Sorry. Because this, again, water also is energy and information. And we need to flush the system when we introduce new juice, new life force, new vitality, so that the old can get sloughed off. And then ideally, you know, when we're born, we're 95% water. And when you look at someone in a nursing home, one of those cases that are so sad, they don't drink, and they're lying around, they're on medication, they have UTIs to the gills, right? And it's really sad, because if they were to hydrate, if they knew that they needed water. The thing is that actually by using X39, it'll make you want to drink more. Yeah, there's a hydration aspect. There you go.
Yes, that's to us. So consistency, 12 hours on, 12 hours off, and being well hydrated. That's what we've got to do our part. The patch does its part. We've got to do our part to get the maximum benefit. So are there any contraindications, anything that could happen that's unpleasant for people?
If people found a reaction by taking the patch that is not so comfortable, I'll give you a good example that just happened this weekend. There was a lady who I saw her 2 years ago. Yes. And she said, I just want to buy retail. Let me just try the X39. She had after effects from the jab. So what happened is that she had a tremendous healing crisis. So we went through 6 hours. We went through 2 hours. We went through just use it when you can. Don't use it at night, but use it. So she came this time to find me, and she says, I am so glad that you helped me so much that time. I still have some of the patches. Do you think I should try again? She's now completely well. She has healed herself. And I said, yes, please, try it. She says, I remember 6 hours was my maximum. So let me see if I can start there. I said, that's great. I asked her to keep me posted. Counterindications can happen when the body is seriously compromised. All right, then it's more than important to stick with it, but you can take the patch off. So what I would recommend in that case, what some of us do, we just take half the sticker off. If you're just testing to see, because then it's easier to put it back on after that. So let's just say you can only do 3 hours. Don't wait until you're super uncomfortable. Take it off and then put it back on again. It's beautiful.
It's so wonderful.
Yeah, it is really. And to have that option, you can't take a pill back out of your gut when you've taken one. That's it. You're stuck. But with the patch, it's so easy.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So would people, are there any, like if someone tries the product and they don't feel good, what do you tell them? Are they going, you know, I hurt more and I don't feel good, or I'm really tired? What do you say to them?
Especially in the case of pain, when it isn't, you know, organic discomfort. In the case of pain, and we actually had that conversation this weekend as well, it can hurt more. There was a case of someone who had arthritis, osteoarthritis. And what they discovered is that the deposits in her bones were breaking up from the X39. So what had happened, that the hardening and the lack of the cartilage was so intense that and you know, the body has a lot of toxins and waste in joints, in blood vessels and all that. So when that starts breaking up, or when their calcium deposits are breaking up, that can be uncomfortable, you know. But at the same time, and there is also the option, okay, so put it on when you're not active with your hands. so that it can do its job, and maybe put an ice wave with it, right? I mean,
It's a good thing is what I'm hearing, is when you're
Yes.
getting that feeling is healing
yes,
kind of thing,
yes,
right?
sorry, yes.
Wonderful.
There is something I want to say about the people in general, especially in the US. Europeans and Asians are a lot hardier in that way. But for us here, we go and we say, oh, it hurts. It hurts. So it can't be right because it hurts. So, yes.
No, but it happened to me, and Dr. Nichols said, "Oh, it's working. That's good."
Yes.
I'm going, okay. And you keep it on as long as it's comfortable. And you said if it's too much, you just take it off. You can't untake a pill, but you can take it off and then put it back on. And
Yes.
it is working. Okay, ready for some questions from
Of
our
course.
audience? And I don't know if there's
Yes.
any stories in here. We love to have stories and questions. So Anonymous says, I'm in my 80s. And I have to go, but when I try, I can't, and my bladder leaks, but I still can't go, but feel like I have to. And then later I end up being able to. I'm always doing exercises to strengthen the muscles. Is there a patch that will help?
I would go with energy enhancer. Simply because when things don't work, there is a blood flow issue, unless there is complete, you see, stool, I work a lot with people with colon issues. And so to me, stool is a secret message, has a secret message. Some people have constipation and diarrhea at the same time. And so there's a little more to this question than just that. Also, I would ask for a good colon therapist. Okay, the plumbing needs to be open, because otherwise none of the toxins can leave. And as we get older, we often don't have enough hydration to move our bowels regularly. I would use energy enhancer, and I would probably use it on the two points. Well, actually, the 2 points on the back. So on either above your, okay, so let's just see your sit bones. Then I'm doing it on myself so I can express what it is. It's below your hip bone in the center, right below your hip bone. Try that. Unless you're a very large woman or person, in that case, I would put it on your feet.
On kidney 1?
Kidney 1, which is this part on your foot, right? It's right below the ball. White on right, tan on left.
Great. And of course, you want them to use X39 too.
Well, that's a given. That's a given. I was thinking we're going into more specialized questions.
Yes,
that's a given. Yes, and then if we're having Aeon, I would use Aeon right below the belly button.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Ravel, Dr. Alban, what is your view of using the brain balancing protocol, the patches and the hat, for 1 day or 12 hours? Should the wearing duration increase over time?
Let's see what your reaction is with that. I like the hat protocol. It has proved beneficial for lots of people for different issues. Okay, so it depends which patches, I mean, which reactions, what reactions you have, and where you are in the healing journey. So eventually, you could put it on for X amount of hours. It sounds like you already have experimented with it and that you know what works for you. And yes, eventually, when the body is ready, you may need less of it. But do it as long as you can without,
It's going to vary per person, for sure.
Absolutely.
Could you explain to people that may not know what the hat protocol is?
Oh, this is a way of putting patches on the head, which don't really stick on our hair or on beards or whatever. So it's like a ball cap, and it has the patches on either side, and it has one on top, and then there's one at the base of the neck, if I remember that correctly. Is that I think so. Oh, yes, of course, the third eye too, the forehead. Yeah.
And my understanding is it synchronizes brain frequencies. So wonderful.
Yeah, the problem is left and right need to be connected for us to be whole. And
Yes.
for
yes.
breasts to come normal. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. The Murray is asking, greetings. This is a question for myself and my team. They've been asking clarity on this. What is EON and SP6 activating in the body? We know that GHK and AHK, carnosine, glutathione are being activated with other patches. We don't know about the others and would appreciate it if you can shine some light on that.
Okay, so the light reflected by the crystals in the SP6 stimulates the body, and several communication networks are made available as the body sees fit. Again, we have here the body in its own wisdom. It, let me see, it stimulates the so okay, all right, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes because this is what I copied from David Schmidt's talk. Okay, so thermal mapping has demonstrated that signals from this patch placed on the acupuncture point will be drawn along the meridians. And the SP6 point is special because one of the meridians passes through it, provides a stimulating superhighway to the hypothalamus deep inside the brain, where it balances hormones and it takes care of mood and your appetite and body temperature. In a way, when I think of SP6 and what it does, it feels really close to the pituitary, which is responsible for producing thyroid hormones, which are responsible for hormone balance and for temperature and for metabolism. So appetite and your growth. So yeah, and the cravings.
What about the EON patch? What is that doing?
The Aeon is a perfect nervous system release. So anyone who's uptight, anyone who is afraid, anyone who's anxious, anyone who's in addiction, anyone who has ADD, anyone who's a little different, it's taking us down. So that's one big piece of it. I love it for that. And aside from that, the Aeon is a anti-inflammatory, fantastic.
Okay.
So I know I have sometimes worn 2 Aeons.
I have too. It was the most popular patch. It was the star of the show until X39 upstaged it, but
Yeah.
it's the one I run out of more than anything.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
always
go-to
have
because
that.
so many things. Okay, well, it must be brain balancing time because we have another question on that. I had a question on the brain balancing protocol. In order to get some good benefits, how long do you wear the hat? And will there be true benefits if you wear the hat 2 hours per day? And is it wise to change the energy enhancer patches from white on right and tan on left and place them on the opposite side, as Anne Morrow suggested?
That really depends on where you're at with it. I mean, I know Anne's work, and she would not recommend this unless it was in answer to a question, because this is the hat protocol and the different patches to use is quite advanced. So my assumption or my thought is that the team who's asking about that, they already have a pretty good idea how it's worked for them. So what I have often done, and I think Dr. Tom as well, we play with placement where we put things on ourselves. Like we're always guinea pigs for this patching, and also how it's worked on people we work with. So try it out, see if it works. Reversing it, I do muscle testing and I work with things like that. So I'm always a little curious when we reverse the polarity of something. Does that mean that someone is polarity reversed? So that, for example, this is a no and this is a yes, right? If you muscle test someone, the letting go becomes the yes. So that's not right. So that is a question for balancing brain and the hemispheres. So what you can do with that, you can just cross your arms and your feet and you sit like that for a while, and that helps cross. So you cross the body with your limbs, and that helps actually to help balance your brain hemispheres. At which point you try the original way again with the patch where it belongs. So
and so what Dr. Henriette was saying, there's there's a two-patch system in energy enhancer, and one is a positive polarity. Our right side of our body, typically, unless you're switched, has a positive polarity, and the left side is a negative polarity. So, but that isn't always true for some people.
You can put it on top of each other as well. I mean, we've done all sorts of things. You can put the energy enhancer on top when there is a place where you have a blockage, or where you know that you are in pain, or where there was an injury and now the waste or the toxins have coagulated, or people have this immense bruising, because there was no blood flow to an injury. You can try to put the energy enhancer on top of each other and have an E1 nearby and have an X39 back here.
Wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So Steve would like to know, what patches do you use to strengthen the pancreas?
SP6, X39 for the overall causality of what that might be. Carnosine for circulation. Strength of the pancreas, huh?
That's a good amount.
Yeah, I know. I tend to look at all of them and say, what would I put if that was my issue? Yeah,
I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. A Zoom user says, I have someone that has multiple injuries in her spine and her heart races with X49. What would you recommend?
Don't use the X49 until it doesn't do that anymore to begin with. X39, and the carnosine is a version that helps. After it's been multiple injuries, the body has learned to compensate things. So definitely Aeon, X39, and instead of X49, use the carnosine. Also, especially for the spine energy enhancer, again, it's that microcirculation where inflammation sits that you want to get out.
Beautiful, beautiful.
You need flow. You need flow.
Okay. A friend had a heart transplant in 2010 and is not on medication that suppresses the immune system. May she use X39?
Well, that was a case I just heard about that someone did. So my suggestion here, without being, I'm not the doctor, I am just another user here. Use it for a couple hours. See how that handles, then increase to maybe do the couple hours for, twice a day, see if that works, and then increase.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, do you do telephone consultations, Dr. Henrietta?
Yeah, I do. Do we book me in the, I'm going to go to
the you might want to put how to contact you in the chat section, because a lot of times, more questions are required to really understand.
Yeah, of course.
And I do recommend to our audience that, talking to one of our practitioners that is a healthcare practitioner and understands the patches. And so that's a really good way to go. Okay, another anonymous. How long do you have to wait to use X39 if okay, I'm not going to do this one. Okay, we do not mention disease states. So if you want to restate with symptoms only, then we'd be happy to take care of that. Okay, Charmine, if you wear X49 during the day and develop a headache at night, can you put Ice Wave on at night, or do you still have to follow the 12-hour rule, or is the 12-hour rule per patch? Good question, Charmine.
The 12-hour rule is per patch. I mean, you should see Dr. T, what he wears.
The wallpaper method.
Exactly. So yeah, you can use, it's each patch. So if you want to keep track of which patch is where, you probably want to do a little of a diagram, and it isn't horrible if you go over the 12 hours. It's just that depending on what you use it for and how intense your need is and your healing, that it's probably a good idea to go slow and remember where you put where. You can take the X49 off sooner, so as to see if that prevents you having a headache.
Yeah. And I wonder how your hydration is, my dear.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, thank you. Maureen, I have a gentleman that has a muscle that's paralyzed in his throat. what patches would he use and where would he place them?
My gut says, obviously X39, yes, but this is very specific. I would say Aeon in the middle and energy enhancer on either side.
Beautiful.
Okay,
Beautiful.
so inflammation and the energy enhancer. Again, we're looking at circulation.
Beautiful.
But I would also ask the question, what is sitting in your craw?
In your what?
In your craw.
your-
What can't you
Oh,
swallow?
what can
What is not being said? What can't you swallow?
beautiful.
Yeah.
At it in in many different dimensions, shall we say?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Glenn says, Dr. Henrietta, if you have internal burning, and what patches would you recommend? Like an itching and stingy and burning?
Okay. I would use Aeon to soothe that down, because any kind of sensory awareness like that is your nerves speaking to you. That's the signaling device.
Mhm.
And depending on where it is, I would put it where you have it the most. If it's just everywhere, is it in your torso or is it also in your limbs? That is a little different. So torso, use Aeon. And actually, I probably would use the Aeon right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And always X39.
Always X39.
That's foundational. Everything else is in addition to.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Okay. Trudy, a friend of mine is experiencing the classic symptoms of, the heart being challenged and water in the lungs. What would be best?
It's
If
tricky.
the heart is failing and they have water in the lungs.
Yeah, I mean, carnosine for X39 to be sure. And then carnosine maybe for circulation, right? I would also get lymphatic drainage, so a manual lymphatic massage, because the fluids in the
Beautiful.
lungs, why are they there? Right.
Good
Is
point.
it one of those? Yeah.
Good point. Yeah, and the carnosine is amazing for the heart. Like amazing, and just right in the middle of the chest is a great place, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, Ravel, here you are again. The person was dealing with depression, and even an hour a day helped, because Ravel had asked earlier about, let me go back to her post. The brain balancing, and so yeah, there we go. Thank you, Ravel. Okay. Bonnie, what patches would you suggest for someone who's had their gallbladder removed?
SP6, X39, and what we know when people have gallbladders removed, be easy on the fat intake. At the same time, a liver cleanse. I'm serious. And in there, where I would probably put Aeon on the liver. Not on the liver point, but right on the liver, right underneath. So shortly, if you look at your floating ribs, just I mean, I'm sorry, on the other side. I have a mirror image here. So it's right underneath your rib cage on the right side. Yes.
Okay, we're going to take one more and then we're done for the evening. If you want your questions responded to, please put them in earlier. Kobe, trying to postpone a hip replacement, been on X39 for 18 days, ordered Eon Ice Wave with my first order. Where's the best placement?
So a knee replacement, a whole knee replacement.
It's a hip.
How did we have this? We had Aeon on the back, and was it Ice Wave on either side?
This is a hip, not a knee.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, great. All right. A hip.
Yeah.
I would put it, is it about to be operated on, or does he want to avoid operation?
I
I'm
just
sorry.
want to avoid the hip replacement. And there's probably a lot more information you need to give the best answer, because
So
there's different
X39,
reasons.
X39 right there. Eon on the
Yeah.
other side. Okay. And see
Beautiful.
how that works. And ice wave when there is pain.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It was wonderful. I love it.
You're welcome.
I love
People-
learning from you. I have
Thank
the best
you.
job because I get to learn from you guys every week. It's so wonderful. And a joy to have you. And thank you all for being here this evening. Thank you, Dr. Henrietta. Thank you, David. Thank you, each and every one of you, for taking the time this evening. If you're checking us out for the first time, please get back to the person that invited you. This is a great cause, an introduction to LifeWave and our technology, and a little interaction. And we invite you to get started. The patches do come with a guarantee. We have if it's just for yourself, we have a great customer program. And then if you're going to be sharing, our brand partner program is fabulous, and you get well compensated for doing that. So at this time, I think we're done, and want to thank everyone for taking the time to be with us this evening. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.